In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a new course for next school year out of a currently archived course within Schoology. Now, the district has told us that we do not need to use their prescribed courses for next year, so you can begin work on your course in real time at the end of the school year and work through it throughout the summer and have it ready to roll out by the time we get back in August. Now, to do this, first of all, we're going to have to create the new course. So we're going to go under Courses. We're going to go under the Create button. Now the course name, you can go ahead and enter it. If you know what subjects you are teaching next year, say for example that you have 2 preps, 3 preps, it is always best to create a separate course for each section that you teach. This is especially true if you plan on assigning homework for that course, if you plan on creating any quizzes or tests. You want to make sure that you have separate sections. Your grading will be a nightmare, record keeping will be awful. Just create 3 separate sections. In a subsequent video, I'm going to show you how to actually post to all those sections. If you do have repeat sections, a very quick way to actually use the calendar feature to post multiple updates to the same section. Okay, so for our purposes, I'm going to call this one World History, and let's say that I knew that I was teaching period 2. Okay, and this isn't a problem either because you can always edit this at a later date. You can actually go into the archive folder and do some editing. So let's say that I got moved from period 2 to period 4. I can always go back and just adjust that. So the title really doesn't matter. Okay, so we're going to keep the World History period 2. Course code, not a big deal. It's actually not even required on this screen right here. If you wanted to put in, that this, the section for purposes of grading, you can do that. Not really necessary. Subject area, they do want you to put that. For the level, I am teaching grade 10. And it's not really a big deal with this one. I usually just choose the forever button on the top right here. This way, take a look at the date range right here. This will keep it going up until this time. You don't want to shortchange it. You don't want to sit there and do it for semesters unless you're teaching a semester class. But if you are teaching a full year, make sure that you open it up for the full year. It's a lot easier than trying to reestablish the class. You can also, again, work on it in real time. And if you're really busy with it over summer, you can, effectively get all your planning done for the year. So we're going to go ahead and create this class. And you'll see that it looks a lot like a Schoology class, but it is completely empty at this point. There is nothing in here. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to pull in our archived class. So you go up to the Add Materials tab right here, and what you want to do is import from resources. Okay, now I have a couple things on this particular Schoology account that are archived here, and you'll see one of those is a World History folder. This is a practice account that I have, so I can take this and I'm going to import this folder. Now, depending on how big the class is, that can take a little bit of time. So what they're doing is they're going to put this up here and it's going to say, do you want to import all this material? Okay, and you can be selective too. Let's say that an assignment didn't work, or there was something that really didn't fit in at the end. You can uncheck that, but I think I'm going to keep all this stuff that's on here. I'm going to import all this material. You notice I didn't have it in any folders either. It's always good to establish folders, but this was a practice account anyway, so not a big deal. And what it did was it imported this entire folder of World History Period 8 that I had this year. It was copied. It imported it into this brand new class. Okay. Very important, I'm going to show you. Here are all the assignments right here. Very important to note that what will not import is any type of event that you have added to a calendar. If you have an event, usually those are going to change anyway with dates. Now you will have to go in because the calendars aren't synced. It is a completely different calendar, different start date from last year. So what you'll have to do is actually go into the individual assignment and edit that assignment. And when you edit the assignment, what you're going to be doing is establishing a new set of due dates for that particular assignment. Now, if there is an attachment, if there is anything on here, that will also transfer with the assignment. This one was just blank. This was a demo here. But if you do have any kind of link that was pasted to the page originally. If you have any kind of assignments, you've put a PDF on here, you've put an audio recording, any of these features that are on here will be intact within the archive. So all you're doing is resetting a date. This might be a good time to pull out the other calendar from the previous year. If you want it to kind of match up, you can put in a comparable date for the given school year. So this is how you bring over your class from the previous year. And again, it's a couple button clicks to get it set for the next school year. If you have any questions about this, as always, see your friendly DTC.